Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at surface area of prisms. A prism is like a box, much like the picture that you see below. Surface area is like painting walls in a room, wrapping paper on a Christmas present or a birthday present. It is different than volume. Volume fills up the space that a 3D object takes up, like pouring water into a glass, while surface area might be like the label that you find on a can. It doesn't fill up the can, it's only around the edge of the can. It is the area of each side added up. So let's practice finding surface area of the following two shapes that we see. Let's start with the first one. So this is a rectangular prism, and we want to find first something that's called the lateral surface area. The lateral surface area does not include the bases. So it does not include like the top and the bottom sides of a box. We only want to know the sides that go around the edge, and I like to call those the front and the back. And the left and the right. The front and the back are going to be identical in size, and the left and the right are also going to be identical in size because they're across from each other. Now let's look at this picture here and try to fill in some of the missing numbers that we don't know that could help us figure out the front and the back. So if we look at the front shape, I'm referring to this rectangle right here. And we know that one of the sides is 10. Just like this dotted line across, for the back would also be 10 centimeters. The height here would be 3, and that's coming from the 3 centimeter height back here. So the rectangle for the front and the back uses a 10 by 3, and recall that the formula for a rectangle is base times height. And so we would do base 10 times a height of 3, and that would give us 30. Now for the left and the right, let's look. I see an 8 over here and a 3 height. Now just to clarify, the left and the right would be like these rectangles off to the side. So again, for a rectangle, base times height. And for the left and the right side, we have an 8. Just like over here would be 8, and then the height would be 3. So we have an 8 by 3 rectangle. 8 times 3 is 24. So now we have the areas that we need. Keep in mind we have a front and a back. So it's actually 2 30s. And then the left and the right is 2 24s. So we can list those twice, or when we add it up, we could also multiply by 2 to find the total area, or the lateral surface area. Let's go ahead and add these together. So 30 plus 24 would be 54. So again, we can do that times 2, or we can add 54 plus 54 to give us our answer. Either way, it will give us the same answer for lateral surface area. So 54 times 2, 4 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 2 is 10, so that would be 108. And again, this is called lateral surface area. Now, lateral surface area is like kind of like a label on a can. A label goes around the side of a can. It doesn't cover the top and the bottom on most cans, and so lateral surface area for a prism like this one would be the front and the back, and the left and the right, not the two bases, not the top and the bottom. Alright, let's go ahead and try to figure out total surface area. Total surface area includes the base. we would take the lateral surface area and add it with the two bases. So let's go ahead and try to figure out the bases, and that includes the top and the bottom. These are rectangles, so we're still going to use the same formula, area equals base times height. The top and the bottom would include this side here that's blue, and then the bottom side. They're going to be the same in size. If you look at the bottom rectangle here, that's mostly yellow with a little bit of green. That'd be a 10 by 8. And if you look across the top, this longer side is also 10. And then this long side here along the edge would be 8 from the bottom 8. So to figure out base times height of that rectangle, let's do 10 times 8. And that equals 80. And there's two of those, so we could do 80 plus 80 or 80 times 2. Either way, we'll get the same answer. And that equals 160. This is just the bases. Now let's go ahead and add it all together to figure out total surface area. So we're going to take our lateral area and add it with the two bases. So 108 plus 160. And we get a total surface area of 268 centimeters squared. Alright, so lateral surface area are the sides going around, not the top or the bottom. Total surface area is all the sides added up all together. Alright, let's go ahead and find the surface area of this prism here. Now, the shape that you see on the left side is called a net. If we were to fold this picture along the black edges that you see, it would actually turn into this triangular prism over to the right. They're the same thing. A net is just a 2D picture of what the 3D object would actually look like. And so let's go ahead and try to solve for lateral surface area. Now remember that lateral surface area would be all the edges going around. If this was a weird looking can, the bases would be circles. Well, in this case, for a triangular prism, the bases are the two triangles on each end, so we're not going to calculate those areas for lateral. Lateral surface area is just going to be the three rectangles going around. So again, not the bases, not yet, because we're only wanting lateral surface area. Now let's look at each rectangle individually. So I see here for this first rectangle, it looks like we would have to do 22 times 7, because base times height for a rectangle, and I see a 22 and a 7 with it. I'm going to label it R1. So base times height would equal 22 times 7. For rectangle 2, I see a 10 along the side. This longer side is still going to be 22 from above. So for rectangle 2, we're going to still do base times height, but this time we would do 22 times 10. Then for rectangle 3, if you notice there's a little line here and a line here, that means that those sides are actually the same size. And so if this little line means 7, then that means this one is also 7 centimeters. So rectangle 3 is also going to be a 22 by 7. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and find the area of each of the three rectangles and add them up to try to figure out what is the lateral surface area. So to solve rectangle 1 and 3, 22 times 7 is 154. And then 22 times 10 is 220. All you had to do is rewrite the 22 and then add a 0 on the end. And let's go ahead and add that up. And so our lateral surface area is equal to 528 centimeters squared. Now we want to find the total surface area. Remember that total surface area includes the two bases. So we're going to take our two bases, whatever we get for those areas, and then add that with our lateral surface area. Alright, our bases are triangles. It's where I put the X earlier in the picture. Our triangles, we need to know the base and the height, multiply those together. And then for triangles, we have to divide that answer by 2 to find the area of one of them. Well, this line here, it looks like the height of a triangle is 8. And then I see a 10 over here, which means that this side will also be 10. So base times height, we're going to do 10 times 8. And then divide that by 2. Well, 10 times 8 is 80. And then if we take 80 and divide it by 2, that would give us an answer of 40. And that's only for one triangle. If you remember, we have two triangles, one on either side. So we have a 40 and then another 40 because of two triangles. So 40 plus 40 is 80, and that's just for the bases. To finish it out, to find total surface area, let's take our lateral answer from earlier and add it with 80, and that will tell us the area of all 5 sides added up together. So 528 plus 80 would give us 608 centimeters squared. Keep in mind that total surface area will be larger than lateral surface area because lateral are all the sides not including the two bases, and then total surface area does include the two bases along with the lateral surface areas. Thank you guys for watching.